Creative Conversations, where creatives connect and inspire. I'm Sophia, and today we'll be chatting to Mel Price about how she introduces children into the creative world. Let's get started. So, Creation Station? Is that right?
Station.
Honestly,
Yes.
you've just told me and I'm already getting the words wrong. Creative Station.
Creation Station.
Creation
It
Station.
rhymes. It's so confusing with
Creation
your podcast
Station.
name being Creative
Exactly,
Conversation.
yeah. Honestly, I can see the way this is going to go. Anyway, could you tell me a bit more about it?
Yeah, so it's a franchise, which means that we're actually multinational now. But
Ooh,
we've got
exciting.
different countries and everything now. It's very exciting.
Wow.
So it was started by our lovely CEO, Sarah Cressel, 20-something years ago now. She basically started it in her living room because there was just a bit of a lack of creative clubs and things for kids at that time. So she was like, well, I'll start one myself. And then it's just grown and grown and grown. She's added franchises on. So a couple of years ago, I was coming off of maternity leave. Didn't really know what to do with myself. So I had been to a couple of Creation Station sessions with my son, my eldest. And had remembered it, looked on the website, and I was like, well, I could just buy a business, I suppose.
You just thought, what a crazy thing to do. You're like, I'm a bit bored. What should I do? I'll buy a business.
It was really out of necessity because, I mean, as you can imagine, it's just not, you need something so flexible.
Yeah, that's
when you've
true,
got two
actually.
kids.
Yeah.
And was working in a pharmacy, which was fine. It's such set hours and,
Were you very creative back then as well?
Yes. I've
Okay.
always been creative.
Yeah.
I've just never really known what to do with it.
That can be the struggle when it comes to finding a job to do with that creativity.
Yeah, and it had never really been on my radar to do as a job.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been academically leaning, I guess, throughout school. That was my aim, and then that just kind of never panned out.
No.
And then kind of have just fell into a few jobs, and then when I had the kids, it changed everything.
Yeah.
So I really needed something that I could make my own hours with and take the kids to sometimes if I needed to, and it's something that I could really be in charge of. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
And how did you find it then? How did you find this lady that had started the franchise?
So like I said, my eldest son, when he was a baby, there was a franchisee in Chichester and she ran baby groups. So I had been to a couple with him and absolutely had loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they were amazing. You basically just shove your baby in a load of paint and let them go wild.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds fantastic. Oh, that must have been so cute to watch as well.
It is. And you do something new each week and you get their little footprints and
And I think it's so important to encourage your children to be creative and experiment and not give them a restriction of, oh no, you can't get messy. That's all part of it.
that is such a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of us in the parenting world that you're so focused on not letting them make a mess because you don't want your house to be messy, and that's so fair enough.
Yeah.
Take them to a Creation Station class and get messy there, and then they can do all the cleaning up.
Exactly. And I guess that's what you're kind of doing then, is making a safe space for children to express themselves and experiment.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so focused on the process of things rather than the outcome. So who cares if you take home 500 sheets of blobby painty paper if you had an amazing time doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I remember when I was a kid, I used to putting loads of coloured paint on one side of paper, and then you fold the other side, which is plain, and then when you unfold it, it creates like a butterfly.
Yeah,
I used to love that.
And then what do you remember about that? You remember the process of doing it rather than the beautiful picture of the butterfly, which is obviously nice too.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, but you remember the fun of,
and
squishing
it and all the paint explodes out the end.
And squishing loads of paint on it.
I mean, I'm an artist now, and I love to make a mess with my work. I find it very enjoyable. And even when I studied as a print designer, and oh god, that's a nightmare. I never wear my gloves in the print dye studio, and I'd end up dyeing my arms like bright like yellow and just making a mess of it. But I think it's good for your inner child, I say.
Exactly, yeah. You can just decorate yourself, why not?
Yeah.
I like to anyways.
Yeah, you do. I love it. You literally are this walking kind of creative spirit. As soon as you came in, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a breeze.
One of us.
Yeah, exactly. I just love the hair though. It's fantastic.
Thank you. It's newly this colour. It won't stay this colour for very long.
What colour have you got? Do you know what you're doing next?
Well, I did have a thought. I'm going to keep this side kind of black. I might do this side rainbow.
Rainbow?
I'm a rainbow kind of gal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like your glasses. How do you do rainbow? Do you just put highlights for it and then change different colours?
Yeah, I did have the whole haired rainbow not so long ago, about a year ago. And yeah, you just section it out and
I bet the kids love it.
On. They do. Every time I go into a club with new hair, they'll all just look at me like, that's, yeah, or that's weird.
You're almost looking at you, it's like you've been coloured in with crayons. And then just to add to that, you've literally got crayon earrings in.
That's the best compliment I could have.
It's
coloured
incredible.
In my crayons.
Coloured in bigger crayons.
I love it.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. And one of the first podcasts I was talking about how I used to have bright pink hair. Yes. It was one of my favourite phases ever, was this pink bob. Stephanie from Lazy Town is what we said we looked like.
Yeah, actually I was listening to that as I was dyeing.
Really?
I was like, we are going to get on.
No way. Amazing. Oh, yes, I can already tell. I think we're already getting on. This is going to be a breeze. So can you tell me a bit about what it's like owning your own business?
Yeah. Hard work is the main thing, but amazing, really.
Yeah.
Because I've learnt so much. I've been doing it just over 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have the first clue about running my own business at all. I've always been in contracted employment. Mm-hmm. And it's always been kind of something I wanted to maybe go towards, but I didn't have the first clue about any of it. So it was a very big leap of faith going into this.
I bet. Especially with children. Was that quite scary?
Yeah, because you suddenly... that set income it goes out the window. You don't know what's going to happen with money and stuff. True. So it was a massive leap of faith. But where it is a franchise and I have bought into the creation station as, my little postcode, they were so upfront about being supportive and having all of the resources to be able to support me that it just made it so much easier to give that faith to it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So whereas, starting on your own and doing it completely by yourself would be very hard.
Yeah, it would be very hard.
Amazing, but really hard. So this was quite a nice almost stepping stone for me to know that there's tons of franchisees around me throughout the country that have done it and have built successful businesses doing it and are there to offer a helping hand with whatever I need. We've got so many WhatsApp group chats.
So do you have a lot of people working with you in this then?
Kind of, yeah. So they've all got their own franchises across the country. I've got a business development manager, lovely Louise, lovely shout out to Louise, who we have like a regular check-in with. And I've got quite a few just close franchisees that started around the same time with me. We're always chatting. What do I do? What am I doing?
Oh, but that's nice, isn't it? To have a team of people you can kind of rely on and chat to each other.
It is
amazing.
It is.
And so it's after school clubs mainly, isn't it? Is that?
Yeah. So we've got Create Club. That is my main sort of the backbone of my business. Mm-hmm. So I started off with one school. I've got 7 now.
7 schools?
7 schools, yeah.
Wow.
And I want more. I love it so much.
And do you run all the clubs on your own or do you have other people that help post them?
I do. So I do 5 of them. I do one every single day, but then I've got 2 lovely staff members as well who help me out to run 2 other ones.
Amazing.
Lovely Lucy and Louise. Another Louise.
Lucy and Louise.
Yeah, good L names, strong L names.
Yeah, definitely. And do you create your own art outside of the?
Yeah, and it has been so nice doing this because it inspires me so much to do that.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Because it gets your creative juices flowing, you know, helping other people.
Yeah.
Do
and
their creative
I guess
work.
being with kids that don't have those restrictions yet and are willing to just do mad stuff and experiment probably encourages you to be like, oh, I can do that.
I love it. Yeah,
Really?
and that's so true because I all the time come home from work thinking that idea that kid had was just incredible. Because the premise of Create Club is that we'll have like a theme of the term. At the moment, it's awesome artists.
Awesome artists.
Yeah, so we're looking at a different artist each week, and we'll look at their work, and then we'll create something kind of inspired by their work.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. And so I will bring like an idea of a craft that we can make. For instance, we did what did we do last week? Keith Haring, actually, who is one of my favourite artists.
Oh, yeah, amazing work.
And we did some like monoprint style designs, Keith Haring style ones.
Fab.
So I can bring the resources and the tools and give them the idea, but then they will design whatever they want and run with it. So, and just some of the ideas that the kids came up with, were amazing.
So I bet. So do you find some just have that creative spark?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think all of them do, really.
Do you think? I think most kids do. I think actually it's life that kind of beats it out of you usually.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I don't, not completely. I think sometimes people just lose confidence in themselves.
And that's exactly it.
And sometimes all it takes is someone going, oh, you're not very good at that. And then you just remember it and you never do it again.
Yeah. Or you've just never found the right thing that sparks it.
Yeah.
I think when people think sometimes of art, they think of drawing or painting and being really technically good. Whereas if you found something else that you really loved, because creativity is in everything, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
It's in...
That is something that we've been talking about on this show is what is creativity? Where is the line? Where does it end? Because so many things can be creative. Do you know what I mean? It really depends on your approach to it.
Yeah.
There are things where I'll go, no, that can't be. Like I have a friend who's a mathematician. He's actually coming on later.
Oh, really?
And like he's not just a mathematician. He's been in the circus. He's a photographer. He's an editor. Amazing. He's done so much stuff. But mathematician, he was saying how it can be creative when you understand maths to that level because there's patterns. And I was thinking, no,
I don't understand.
I refuse. Like. Do you know what I mean? I'm very open-minded to creativity, but maths. I mean, maybe it's just because maths gives me anxiety. But I can't bring myself.
Although you say that, I do remember doing in, I think, secondary school, I couldn't tell you actually what it is because, again, maths, not me.
Yeah.
But it's something to do with working out the points on a circle and you use a compass and then you create cool little designs.
Oh, goodness me. I guess that bit was fun.
Yeah.
Kind of.
not the working out part, that's not for me.
No. I mean, my maths books were just covered in doodles. I never focused on any of it. And that's why I never passed my maths GCSE. I had to retake it in college and even then I just, no, it didn't happen. I don't think I tried very hard though. That's the thing. Art, I was always fully immersed in it and really competitive, wanted to do well. But maths was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But now working for myself, kind of regret that slightly because, numbers are important.
Yeah, they are a bit.
Yeah.
But also, you have people that can do that.
Yeah, that's true. As we were saying earlier before the podcast, AI can help us with the writing and calculators will do the math. So we could just do the fun stuff.
Exactly. And that's exactly it. I just want to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, me too. Can I ask, do you think that creativity is in everyone or do you think it's something that develops over time? Do you think it's something that you can learn?
I think it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think everybody does have creativity. Like we were saying, I think it's in everything. I think it's in the way you choose to dress. It's the music you listen to. It's problem solving.
Yeah.
And it's about sort of nurturing that creativity and helping it blossom when you find something that you really enjoy. Yeah. And I see so many times, because I also run the paint and sip sessions for the adults.
Oh, I'd love to hear more about these paint and sip sessions. What did I call them? Sip and paint.
Sip and paint, yeah. Not the same because that really sounds like you're going to drink the paint.
Exactly. I've never thought of it like that because I was thinking about running some at some point and I'm pretty sure I was calling them paint and sip. Is that right? No.
Paint and sip is what I call it.
Sip and Honestly, these podcasts are just me getting my words back to front all the time.
It's fine.
So paint and sip is what you do.
Yes, paint and
Nice.
sip. Yep.
And do you do those around Chichester then?
Yeah, so the Fountain Pub in middle of Tarchai.
I used to go there all the time as a
Yeah,
teenager.
Me too. Maybe I shouldn't admit that. But it's lovely in there.
I'm going to have to attend because I'm moving to Chichester soon. So yeah, that'd be nice to do some kind of arty wine
definitely.
nights.
Let me know. They're just such lovely evenings, and it was something that was never, when I started the business, it was never on my radar. I didn't have anything to do with adult sessions at all. It was all about kids for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I attended one myself, a rival company, can't name and shame.
Oh,
it was very good.
Did you go like, in disguise and pretend like
sunglasses and
you like spying on them? Yeah, because I like, how do you figure out like how to, because you obviously need to bring all the paints and the canvases. How do you factor that all in? Like, that's where I got confused with trying to make the money back with bringing all the art supplies in. And the booze. Or does how does that work?
We're in a pub, so
they do that
supply
part
that for us. Yeah, that's handled, so that's good. But yeah, it's a bit of a there's a lot to set up, like when you're first getting going. But once you've got all the easels and the tablecloths and things, a lot of it is, just
I guess you just reuse that.
Self-sustainable. And then it's just topping up your paints and your canvases and stuff. But yeah, so I had been to one and I loved it. I've never really painted much before at all.
Oh, really? What was your medium before that then?
ADHD, everything. Just not painting, apparently. I love crocheting. I love, making stuff, sewing.
Really? I love giving into the ADHD and just being everything and just doing everything. I love it.
So many thumbs and so many pies.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So is there certain ones that have stuck with you though and you've gone, yeah, that's my thing? Or is it still just like an array of everything?
I think I just have I can do that itis. So if I see something that I really love, I'll just be like, I can do that. I can do that myself. Yeah. So I'll give it a go.
Yeah, but isn't that a great mindset to have?
I love it.
Like when I was younger, I used to think I could only be one thing.
Yeah.
It's such a lie.
Yes.
Why are we told that? We're not a narrative. Do you know what I mean? We should be able to experiment. Yeah. And like people get in a job and they go, that's me. That's all I do. Oh, boring. Takes the joy out of it as well, doesn't it?
I think so. Can you imagine doing the same thing for the rest of your life?
No.
And I do something different every hour in my jobs.
Yeah? Yeah. I was going to say, it sounds like a great job.
It is. It's something different every time.
Do you prefer teaching the kids or the adults?
Oh, what a question. They're going to listen and then be like, well, rude.
I'm not working with her again then.
I love them both in very different ways. The adult sessions are much calmer. They're just lovely evenings because you do
really?
just...
Is it quite chill vibe then? They're not all smashed trying to get paint everywhere.
Fingers crossed, not yet.
I feel like if I did one, I'd probably get drunk too. And then I'm like, no, this is all we painted. It would be an absolute mess.
Well, yeah, I'll watch out for your ticket coming through then. But no, on the whole, I think people just want to come and just have a different evening out. And that's my whole sort of selling point, is that it's just something a bit different, isn't it? Rather than just going out for drinks or whatever. You get to take home something really cool and learn something new and try your hand. So yeah, on the whole, people just want that sort of relaxed evening. And we have grown up chat and just paint. Well, it's very sophisticated. No, nothing about me is sophisticated at all.
Neither. What kind of so do you plan a painting prior to it and then do you teach them step by step how to achieve that?
No. So that's where we are quite different, I would say. We have set designs, so I will choose some from our library of beautiful paintings, and people will book onto that specific painting for that evening. And then I will transfer the outlines onto the canvases, which is quite unique, I think, because usually you're taught, if you've ever been to one before, you usually are taught to sort of paint the whole thing from scratch.
Yeah, so you
which is also really cool,
something to follow almost.
Yeah, so it's more about it's taking that fear away, because a lot of people will see an empty canvas and go,
Yeah,
I don't know what
even
to do
I
with
get
this.
daunted by it.
There is nothing worse than an empty canvas.
Isn't it? It's mad. You just have to commit to it, don't you?
Just get something on.
Yeah.
Work
When
with
I was
it.
at university, I used to just, all my canvases, paint them up the night before, just with a background colour.
Yes.
So the next day, there's just something for me to work back
And you
onto.
can, you can choose your colours around that and things. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So when there's an outline on there, I think people are less daunted by it.
Yeah.
And I always say at the beginning, it's the only thing you've got to think about in the next couple of hours is what colours you're going to do, where, basically.
Yeah.
So it depends on the painting as well. Some of them I will give a few sort of hints and tips of how to create certain effects and things. But on the whole, I will just let people go for it.
Yeah.
And they always end up with these amazing, beautiful paintings because they just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about do people have everybody, do they have creativity in them? It is always the people that turn up and they go, I haven't ever painted, I don't have a creative bone in my body, this is going to be rubbish. They are the ones that leave with the most beautiful paintings.
Really? How interesting is that?
I know. They just get into it. And I think they just let it all go, and then they don't overthink.
Wow.
And they always do. They always leave with something beautiful.
That's amazing.
I love it.
See, I always wondered whether, because I'm quite particular of what I like to paint. So I wondered if I went to a paint and sip, whether I'd get frustrated having to create someone else's design, or whether I'd enjoy doing something different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And it is interesting to see people who are artists come to paint and sips and see what they do with it.
Yeah.
Because they will either become really creative and like add loads to it, and or get quite frustrated with it and not finish it, or so it's interesting to see.
That
actually
is an interesting one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about starting one with my boyfriend, or not like just like a one-time thing, because he makes cocktails. He used to work in purchases in Chichester.
Does he have ADHD?
He's like a jack of all trades. Did you know he used to be a magician? Maybe he does. He did say to me the other day, darling, I think I could, I might be on the spectrum somewhere.
The signs are there.
Yeah. But yeah, he used to do like magic tricks for weddings and stuff. And then obviously now English teacher. But yeah, he's also a mixologist.
Does he do it in class?
What, magic tricks?
Yeah.
He really should.
Oh my God.
The kids would love it.
I don't know if they would actually. How old are they?
It's GCSE level, that's 16.
Oh, that's tricky territory,
He's
isn't
quite
it?
fit though, so they might... Quite fit.
Do you remember the magician English teacher?
Yeah. He's got glasses and curly hair, and he looks a bit like Superman, Clark Kent. Oh. And all the students say it, and I think the parents love him as well. So he really should just whack out the magic tricks. I'm sure he'll go down the street. He's going to listen to this and be like, "Oh my God, what is she saying?"
I love that.
But yeah, we were thinking about doing just like a sip and paint where he makes the cocktails and I do the painting.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, but I love his cocktails so much that I do reckon that I would just be on the floor while I'm trying to teach.
Maybe your painting would end up amazing at that point, though.
Maybe. Maybe.
It'll be the best thing you've ever created.
Yeah. I'll tell myself that. Fingers crossed. Mm-hmm. So what kind of art do you create then when you're not doing your workshops? Well, you said that you do everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah. I have discovered my love for painting. So I did that paint and sip, the rival one.
Oh, yeah. And what do they get you doing
What did we do? I can't remember which one that was. I think it was just like a little beach scene. Yeah, it was with like a little starfish and the sky. And I just really, really loved it. And I thought, this might be the direction that I want to go, because paint and sip in Creation Station is like a fairly new thing. It's always been sort of the children, that side of things, and the craftier side of things for the adults. So paint and sip as an entity for us has been in the last few years. So not all of the franchisees do it. So again, it's something that hadn't really crossed my radar until I went to one, and then I was like,
this is the thing.
I want to do this. Yeah. And then that's really spurred me on to do painting outside of that
really
as well.
Inspired you and pushed you forward.
Yeah.
Can I ask how you avoid burnout? So, like obviously owning your own business, being this absolute grafter, but then obviously trying to keep that creativity too. How do you avoid that?
With difficulty.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Because I get burnout working for myself, and you've got 2 kids and you're running a business. Like, that's quite a lot.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, especially with owning the business, you have to really just go with the flow. there are going to be months that are tougher than others. And that's something that I've really had to learn. And I have recently started seeing my business as like an entity, like of a life of its own, because you do have to kind of just follow the direction that it goes in. Obviously you're working hard to go to where you want to as well, but
you've got to go with the flow.
Sometimes what you think is going to happen is the complete opposite of what is going to happen, and so you have to kind of channel into it like that. And trying to keep that work-life balance is essential.
How do you separate the two?
Well, I think where I can decide my own hours, where I can work from home, those sorts of things, it's easier, I think, to separate those times out. So I have set days where I will do all my work at home. The other days are not for that. Those are for spending with my children, doing other things, getting my own creativity in. So it's easier to separate out like that, I think. Or it should be. Because it can be really easy to have it all on your phone and let it flow through to you all week and
I'm like that.
you.
I just never switch off. I have to really make an effort to be able to just kind of separate myself from everything. I find the only times when I go out for a walk in the woods or something is when I can
reconnect.
To be honest, actually, when I'm painting.
Yes.
Do you find that as well?
My brain switches completely off. I love it nice? So much. Yeah.
It's just like the only time there's quiet.
Yeah. Yes.
Random. Can you paint when it's quiet, or do you need music on? Because I find that I have to have something to flow to, like a noise in the background.
I do use music, yeah. I think I'm a music kind of gal anyway. It determines my whole mood.
Yeah, me too.
Or like I have to cultivate a playlist to suit my mood.
Yes. Yeah.
So
my painting playlists are pretty crazy. I mean, a lot of it's actually quite classical and opera for when I paint. But then sometimes if I need to like get the energy up and I've been painting all day, then suddenly the music gets a little bit crazier. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, it took us a couple of months to realise that the jukebox is free on Tuesdays when we do the paint and sip in the fountain.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's the best thing ever. So I just take requests from everyone when they're painting. We go stick it on the jukebox.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, amazing.
I love that.
Yeah. So we have a right good old sing-song and a paint.
I have to go back there. I haven't been there in so long, but it sounds fun.
It is
fun. So what days do you do the
So it's a Tuesday. It's usually
sip and
paint and sip.
No, I got it right the first time. Goodness me.
It's Tuesdays and it's usually the second or third Tuesday of the month, depending on where it lies. But it's all up on my website.
So on your notes for the podcast, you said that you like to do pet portraits.
Yeah,
how did that come about then?
I seem to just kind of fall into doing things.
Yeah.
Just so cliche, but I just
did someone commission you to do, or did you just paint a pet and then?
I wanted to try my hand at it, so I painted my friend's pug in a pirate hat.
What? That's so cute. I'd love to see this.
And I loved it, and he loved it, and I wanted to carry on doing it anyway. But he actually ended up coming to a paint and sip, and I gave it to him there. And there was a guy sat at the bar with his pub dog.
Oh, really?
And he was like, I want you to paint Ralphie Boy. And so he commissioned me to do a little A4 painting of Ralph the dog.
So that's quite a nice little bit of pocket money on the side.
Yeah, it's not done. I've not done too many or anything yet, but I would love to go into it because I enjoy it so much. Yeah.
You see, I've got a very quite free and organic style, and I don't really like straight lines or precision. That's not where I'm dyspraxic, so my brain doesn't work in that way. And it's so funny because I had a lady commission me to paint her dogs that unfortunately died. You know, very sad. I really hope she's not listening to this because.
Oh no! What did you do?
Because I'm not very good at painting portraits of dogs. Wow. Now, I should have light boxed it at least or something, or traced the outline so I had the dimensions right of the dogs.
Yeah.
But I tried to do it in my organic style. Now, the first test one I did, you know, kind of, what's the technique called when you continuous line with the pen, was really cool. So I sent that to her and she was like, beautiful, go for it. So then I committed to the big piece. They looked deader than they do you know what I mean? Like, there was no life in the eyes of these skewiff, wonky heads.
No. Why is it always that the test is better than the actual?
I don't know, but it was just, and I kept trying to improve it. Do you know what I mean? I thought if I had a bit more colour, and then I thought, I know, they're not looking great. So I'll paint a load of flowers around the dogs. But now it is just looking like a funeral for two.
Oh no!
Oh, dreadful. And I think she did buy it off me in the end, and I still feel bad about it to this day. It was just horrendous. I was
Give her a refund.
Yeah, exactly.
So listen to this
I remember after this, I was like, I'm never ever doing a pet portrait again. This is horrendous. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's her babies right there.
Yeah.
And one's got one eye bigger than the other.
Oh no.
And lopsided ears. It's just, yeah. So
maybe she loved it. Maybe she loved your interpretation of it.
Maybe.
You never know.
I've never looked at it again since. I like painting. I can paint owls and cats, and that's about as far as it goes.
Okay.
Really, I'm quite niche on the animals I like to paint.
That is very specific. There's quite a few more animals than that exist.
Maybe I just need to practice more, I think. But yeah, it's the same with painting humans. Like, I don't like doing proportions, right?
No, I'm rubbish at it.
It's why I love flowers, because there's not a wrong or right.
You can just shove another petal on.
Exactly.
Huge, I don't care.
It's amazing. I did a big art project the other day where I had a massive backdrop and I was hand painting it, and because it's flowers, because I had a team of people watching, it's quite daunting. But when you're doing it with flowers, because there's no wrong or right, it's so refreshing. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was painting someone's dogs, oh my God, I'd be having a freaking heart. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I would not like people watching me for that. Although people do watch me because I paint at the front of the paint and sips with them. So I will.
Oh wow!
I will,
was that quite nerve-wracking at first?
At first, yeah. I just felt like a bit of an imposter because I was like, who am I to be telling you? Because I've had no formal education, in art or anything.
Really?
Nothing. I didn't even do it at GCSE.
No way. What did you do for GCSEs? Do you remember? Yeah. Was it really nerdy?
History and IT.
Wow, you were nerdy. That's funny. What a contrast.
I know. And then I was dead set on doing something. I wanted to be a doctor for the longest time. Yeah. Oh. And then
what happened there then?
I failed my A-levels.
Fair enough.
I had raging undiagnosed ADHD and didn't know it.
When did you get diagnosed with ADHD then?
When I was 28, so not that long.
Oh, okay, not long ago then.
4 or 5 years ago. So
has that helped you?
Yeah, massively. Nothing's changed. I'm still the way I am. It just helps me understand why I am the way I am, and be kinder to myself because of it.
Yeah. Do you ever find that you just can't complete any jobs? You just wander around the house and you start one thing and then
I'm
the
not
next.
a finisher. I'll start jobs 100%. Like the laundry. The laundry's amazing. I love doing the laundry.
You love doing the laundry?
Will it get put away?
No. I do that. I just leave little organised piles of clothes all over the house. Mm-hmm. It's dreadful. My boyfriend gets driven mad by it because he's quite an organised person.
Okay, maybe he doesn't have ADHD.
I know. He might be on the spectrum somewhere, but maybe not on the ADHD part of the spectrum. Do you know what I mean? Because he is quite, in fact, precise. He always, every day, has a freshly ironed shirt or top on.
Ironed
everything.
I don't think I've ironed anything since 2010.
Well, I mean, I've discovered steamers recently and they're great.
Oh, I do want a steamer.
It's so much easier.
Yeah. If it's fun and I can do it in 10 seconds, then I'll do it.
Yeah. So I just have mine plugged in at all times, bish bosh, and it's done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's maybe I should invest in one.
Yeah, but no. Boring, not exciting. We want to do the fun stuff.
That is my trouble. I just want to do the fun things all of the time.
So how can you bring more creativity into everyone's lives, do you reckon? Even if they don't see themselves as artistic.
I think looking at what they already like would be a really good place to start. So if you are kind of musical, then shove some music on and maybe have a little go at drawing, just anything when you're listening to that music, because I think that would be a massive source of inspiration. Or surround yourself with creativity in terms of like who you follow on Instagram. I follow so many accounts that inspire me all the time.
Really?
I'll be like, I love that. I want to do something like that. I love this aspect of this. I'll add this into my next piece of art or whatever. So surrounding yourself with those creative things, amazing. Pinterest. I mean, Pinterest is just the source of
I love Pinterest.
Creativity, isn't it? Oh
but
my
I just
God.
get into like a Pinterest hole. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like I made a board the other day because I'm starting this body painting project.
Cool.
It's so fun. Have you ever painted on skin before? It's such an interesting surface to paint on.
I did face
paper.
painting at my friend's birthday party once.
Did you enjoy it? Yeah. I think. Did you follow a pattern or were you just freestyling?
I had like little reference photos, but yeah, she had a cat themed birthday, so I did little like what's her name? Marie from Aristocats.
Aristocats. Oh, yeah. I love that film.
So did some of those. It was really fun.
That's so cute.
There was a part of me that was like, oh, maybe I'll just sack everything in. I'll become a face painter. This is great.
To be fair, you could do that as another avenue.
Yeah, well, we do. We're licensed to do the eco glitter, face glitter.
Like festivals and stuff?
Yeah. So that's quite fun.
That's really fun.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I love glitter. I'm shocked it's not come up before now. I said about the rainbows, but glitter is...
Glitter?
That's me.
Really?
Yeah. I love glitter so much.
Oh my God, I bet you use it all the time as well.
Well, maybe not so much in the kids' sessions because I do have to be mindful of the schools and... cleaning up.
Oh yeah, that's true. And also a lot of
glitter
is really bad for the planet, isn't it?
Exactly, which is why we go down the eco glitter route. So it's biodegradable.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so we're kind to
I don't think I've ever used that glitter before. I have to get my hands on some.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the links.
Yeah, please do, girl. Love it. I mean, I'm like that, but with gold leaf, I'm obsessed. I put it on everything.
So yeah,
You won't be really using gold leaf.
Magpies, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I just think it's fantastic. Well, that's the thing. When I was looking at body painting, I was like, suddenly you can get gold leaf to put on your body.
What?
Yeah. And I was like,
why don't I already do that every day? I need to. I would just.
Can you imagine just coming to the podcast and just painted yourself gold?
Hello, I'm a disco ball.
That would be so fun. Oh my God. I see all the body painting I've done so far is on my own body, which is so hard.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Because you have to look in the mirror, which then obviously it's
backwards.
And then when you get to the other side of your body, you have to use your left hand rather than your right.
Oh,
it's so difficult.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah. We did have an artist come on this podcast recently who's ambidextrous, so she paints with both hands.
And
she does paint and zips.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So she teaches you how to like kind of be a bit more loose and let go of the control.
An anti-anxiety tip actually is using both hands at once, even if you can't use. If you're not ambidextrous, is trying to draw anything, circles or squiggles, trying to mismatch them or line them up. It's a really big anxiety relief tip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I bet the clubs that you do are probably really good for the children as well to kind of relax and get rid of a bit of anxiety.
So. Yeah, and it is a chance for them to let loose because we are really focused on this is the idea, but you can run with it. You can do it however you want, as long as my number one rule is be kind.
Be kind.
Because that encompasses a lot of things. But so as long as you're being kind, you can have as much fun as you want and do it however you want to.
Are you good at disciplining to make sure that they stay in line if they start like messing around too much?
It's definitely a learning curve because again, I'm not a teacher. No. I've never had the formal training in that. So that's definitely been something to learn as a session leader.
I mean, have you heard of Westbourne House School?
Yes, I did a club at there for a little while actually.
No way, so have I. So I did some art teaching there as well.
Their art department is incredible.
Isn't it insane? It's so
not
my
God,
fair.
I was in there like I just want all of this stuff.
So jealous of all the kids. Oh my God, amazing. Such amazing. They even have a kiln, don't they? So they can do all the pottery and everything.
Really cool.
So cool.
I think it does take a certain type of person to do it. But for a long time I worked with adults with learning disabilities and in care work. So I think I've got that kind of flexibility in me to work with whatever comes my way.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. So sort of behaviour management and things.
Do you teach a lot of people with disabilities then, or is it just the one?
Not so much, but obviously it's something that I would be more than happy to do. I am only in mainstream schools at the moment, but if the opportunity came to work with people with disabilities, that would be amazing for me. I love it so much.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes. So
I'm sure we can make that be the next thing that you go into.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love it so much.
So rewarding.
Yeah, I'm all about inclusivity, and art is for everybody.
Yeah.
And so much stuff is not accessible.
No.
Even just the the places where you do things.
Yeah.
You know, you have to think about ramps and what kind of chairs people are on, or if people are in wheelchairs, if you need to make space for them. And that's...
Would you ever do art workshops abroad?
Abroad?
Yeah, just because my partner's mum runs a load of chalets in France that are for people with disabilities, so that's all built for wheelchairs and everything, and they're trying to get more things happening for the kids out there, which, you know.
Oh my goodness.
So they're bringing people out there to come and stay in the chalets.
Yeah, hit me
There's
up.
a swimming pool.
I'm in.
Yeah.
That's all the only thing I'm in for.
Really? I just thought it'd be so cool.
I'd love that.
Because
Oh my
obviously she was trying
goodness.
to convince my partner, who obviously is an English teacher, to bring the kids over for like a school trip,
Yeah.
which would have been great. But yeah, it is mainly for like disabled
Oh,
people.
amazing.
So,
and it's
yeah.
like purpose built for them.
Yeah, and they
That's
have
so
like
incredible.
this big immersive room that actually my partner's mum did. It's amazing, and it's got like shiny mermaids on the walls and like projections everywhere and things you can touch and
Oh,
feel.
I love
and
that.
yeah, it's super cool. It's very arty.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's right up my street.
Yeah, I can imagine you doing great at something like that. Actually,
I would love that so much.
oh,
yeah.
amazing, very nice.
Hit me up.
So, what's kind of your like plans for the future then with all of this? Have you got anything that you're aspiring to do next?
Just kind of growth in general at the moment. Just getting more schools in. But I'd love to grow the paint and sip side of things as well. At the moment, I'm doing one. I've done a couple of other ones here and there, but I've just never taken off. So if I could just do paint and sips and my after school clubs, I'd be a happy girl.
Really?
Yeah.
How regularly would you want to do them, do you think?
If I had somebody to help me, I would do them every day if I could, the paint and sips. Obviously, it's trickier for me for childcare. You can't always just nip out for 3 hours of an evening.
No.
So-
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's the thing. Have you got someone close to you that does all the childcare when you're...
Yeah, we've got like a big team of people that somebody will step in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really handy.
Yes.
Do your kids attend a lot of them as well?
Yeah, they do. They always come to holiday. I do holiday clubs as well. I forget what I do.
Yeah, I bet.
There's so much going on, you know.
Yeah.
So I do holiday clubs in the half terms and holidays as well. So when create clubs obviously not on because of school term times.
Yeah. Exciting. So I guess you just want to kind of branch out more, push the sip and paints.
Yes,
paint and sips.
sips.
And kind of grow the after school clubs then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not shooting for the stars here. I don't need to be.
No, it sounds like
I love what I'm doing already.
You've got it good, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing and you're happy doing it, which is amazing.
Yeah, and I do have the tendency to be like, oh, maybe I should just go and do this, or I'll do this. And then I think actually it's smart for me to just grow on what is working at the moment.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
So one last question. If you could give a piece of advice to our listeners about creativity, what would it be?
Interesting. Don't give up, I think would be...
Don't give up.
Don't give up would be my biggest thing, because I think as you grow as a person, as you discover more things in your life, you will discover that creativity in certain ways. So if something doesn't work, because how many times you hear of people being like, oh, I tried to learn how to crochet and I was rubbish at it. So
it's so true. People just let go too quickly, don't
yeah. Whereas maybe if you tried it slightly differently, or if you tried something adjacent to it, like knitting.
Yeah.
I do believe you're a knitter or you're a crocheter, and I'm fully a crocheter. I could
Really?
knit to save my life.
Crochet looks so confusing.
It is, but I love it. And you really have to think about it, and I think that's why I like it.
think that's actually why I avoid it, because of the exactly what you just said about I would start and then I'd go, oh no, that's too
You
confusing.
do have to count a lot. It's maths.
Yeah, maybe that's not the one for me. Knitting, basic knitting, I could do that.
Really, I just can't get my fingers to do it.
Really?
Yeah, I think, see, my theory stands. You're a knitter or a crocheter.
I guess I'm a knitter then.
Yeah.
So that's amazing kind of advice then. So just kind of keep going with it and don't give up straight away.
Yeah, don't give up. Try something similar. Follow where your interests go. So if you already have interests in something like music or painting or drawing or art in general. Just try and hone in on that and develop that creative side. And remember that creativity isn't just what you might classically think of as art. It might be how you dye your hair funny or get tattoos or present yourself to the world. Or how you might have a problem at work that you could creatively solve. It's in everything. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for chatting today.
Thank you.
You've been amazing to talk to. You're an absolute
really
inspiration. You've definitely inspired me to maybe push these kind of paint and sips as well.
Definitely.
So yeah, this is so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. I've enjoyed it very much.
Thank you. So that's it for this week's episode of Creative Conversations. Where can people find you?
So I am on Facebook and Instagram as @CreationStation Chichester. I've also got a dedicated @Paint and Sip Chai Instagram, but we've got lots of information on the Creation Station website as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Cool. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Creative Conversations was hosted by Sophia Gray. It was recorded at Granary Studios, audio production by Granary Digital, additional production support and editing by James Jones. For more information, visit our website at granary.digital. To contact the show, email podcast@granary.digital. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts and follow us on social media.